Hi everyone and welcome to the OC Show Season 2 Episode 17. I'm Truthman from OverClocking-TV and today we have a few guests with us. I will start by my co-host and partner here at OverClocking-TV, Timothée. Hi Timothée.
Hey Truth, how's it going?
It's going well. We've been a little bit late on the schedule, but it's all due to the next guest that is Joe Steponz. Stays going by the name Steponz online. Man, thank you for being with us. You're gonna be one of the topic talking about the streaming session that you had earlier in like 2 weeks ago, actually. And another guest with us is ObscureParadox. He's from UK. He's quite young and he's part of the team MLG, middle life gamer. But you're not that middle life. As I said, you're like say we were talking just before. You're just 21, so quite young for this. You did very well in the MSI OC Academy that we did cover a few months ago in Cambridge, and that's where we actually did meet you for the first time. Before that, we were just exchanging online. Thank you, all of you guys, being on the live chat. It's actually a warm welcome. Thank you guys if you're coming from some of our partner website or if you come from Reddit. I did post a Reddit on Reddit to ask you if you have any questions. You can ask them there or you can ask them directly on the live chat. Don't forget guys, if you like this kind of content through the next hour and a half, you can always subscribe to our channel and you're gonna get the notifications. And I want to thank you to BuildZoid and Charles 4691 for the first follow of the evening. So thank you guys of being there. The next guest we should have with us is new, but is actually on its way. It's not even there yet. So as you see, it's kind of like well, Neo should have been there. It will be there a bit later on the show. Actually,
well, actually, when you hear the buzz, I will disappear and open the door. That would be so.
So Timothée, you're part of OverClocking-TV. You have been co-hosting this show for a while. I will ask you, but I already know. But for the viewers, like, what did you do for the past 2 weeks?
What I do for the past 2 weeks? So I've been busy actually with HWBot work, mainly preparing for the World Tour 2016. So that's a little bit far away. Sometimes it's very far away because we're even planning for events all the way to you know, October something 2016, so that's in a year from now, so it's quite far away, but we are planning more events this year, so it's going to be pretty cool. That's for sure. I can already kind of confirm you ahead that the one in France will for sure happen on the Easter weekend, so you guys should book your dates for that one already, and there will be more to come very soon.
Like this one, right?
Yeah, just like that one.
That's the end. That's the end. Well, thank you for hosting, and you're actually producing the show today. So thank you for producing everything.
So if you see me clicking and panicking, it's no worries.
It's straight from our studio in Taipei. Steponz, as you arrived late, I will not ask you the question right now. Lewis, thanks for being with us. I know it's quite early in the morning in UK right now. As I said in introduction, you're ranked 3rd in the country, and you're part of the MLG team. That team was actually organizing the MSI OC Academy a few months ago. Well, what did you do for the past few weeks? Did you have the chance to try Skylake?
Yeah, so just got my Skylake set up, and yeah, it's interesting. It's back to full pot benching on Intel, which is so much easier than all this Goldbug malarkey. It's just a new challenge really, and I've also been trying out some old Intel Xeon stuff, 771, the single core that everyone was using for HardwareBot Prime, so I've got a very, very, very good chip there, so expect some stuff from that soon.
Expect some damage.
Yeah,
not on the top ranking, but on the other
more global firsts. No, global firsts. Easy.
You said easy, yeah?
No, it will be.
So back to you, Steponz. You're one of the elite overclockers. You're ranked 4th in the USA, but you're in Team Australia OC. What's going on?
Well, I bench with the teammate you guys, so I don't know. There's no I don't know.
There's no reason whatsoever.
So That's just where I bench. We don't really organize anything, so.
I guess the main reason is because you know all the guys from Team AU.
Pretty much.
And you have been like you have been overclocking quite a few times all together at some manufacturers headquarters in the past. So I guess that would also help to be part of their team.
Pretty much. I always bench with them. Like if I go to an event, you know, like Taiwan, you know, Vegas, pretty much everywhere. Every time I leave for an event, I'm always benching with those guys. So might as well be on their team, you know.
But you only have one citizenship, and that's USA. So that's why you still consider yourself as an American.
Of course. Even though I might talk like an Australian every once in a while.
So for people that don't know you yet, you're from Tampa in Florida.
Tampa, Florida, humidity capital.
Crocodiles. It's almost like Australia in some parts.
Yeah. I mean, well, when it's summer here, it's winter there, and it's kind of opposite range, but it's pretty crazy.
You both have sharks.
Yeah, a lot of them, apparently. Try to stay away from the sharks.
Yeah, so well, thank you for being with us for this show. Not thank you for arriving that late and having to fit everything in at the last minute. Sadly, Neo is not there, but Neo is the owner and of the Overclocker webzine. Is one of the renowned overclocker. Although he did a lot of testing, he did actually a lot of testing in the lab in the past few weeks. Timothée, can you just tell us?
So he was basically mainly testing Skylake before he released the last issue that went out, I think, a week and a half ago, something like that. So that issue is very focused on Skylake. So if you have any doubts on the platform or you want to learn more about it, that's, I guess, a good issue. And now he's working on the next one where he's gonna have a review of some graphics card. I think it's the EVGA Classified 980 Ti. Yeah, the same you have behind, I guess. So yeah, he's benching that at the moment. So that's what is keeping him busy. I guess we can ask him more whenever he shows up.
well, actually, Steponz, what's the setup behind you?
Well, it's Skylake. Basically, I'm just testing heaven with a new KP GPU, the 980 Ti. Is
that the only sample you got, or is that the only card you have for the KPI, or?
I had two. This is my second one. I'm just going through cards and testing cards. So I want to see. I just literally opened that card yesterday and started testing it today. So that was the first test right there. It's gonna get all wet.
And it's still frozen, right?
Pretty much. It's about -50 right now. Here.
Neo is coming. So we're gonna continue and we're gonna talk about all the competitions, but sadly all the competitions, it's Timothée having all of them. So guys, if you are on the live chat and you have any questions for us tonight, talking about the few topics that we have, basically we're gonna be talking about the OC-Esports competition updates. We're gonna also be talking about all the challenges of the overclocking stream, like the one we're doing or the one that Joe did 2 weeks ago. Like basically what are the experience we would expect in terms of viewers, and what kind of experience we have to provide in terms of I won't say like presenters, because it's not really presentation, but performer, I would say. And then we're gonna talk about the news we find around the web. There was a lot of questions either on our personal Facebook or on the OverClocking-TV Facebook. Will the price of DDR4 fall down as much as DDR3? We're gonna talk about that, talk about the new Skylake K mobile CPU. Yeah, Skylake K unlocked CPU for mobiles, and how some manufacturers are going crazy on their systems, and much more information that we're gonna be discussing in the next few minutes. And of course, the last topic, and that's why we have Lewis with us tonight, is the overclocking scene in UK, and mostly how at 21 you can end up third in your country, and and try to do great things, and not killing not so much hardware and stuff like this. We're gonna have
close the door.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's
hey, Neo is here, guys.
Yay!
Good morning, Neo. Thank you for being late.
It's already live, whichever.
So, as I
matter,
said,
I
Neo is part of
okay.
the
It's just
is
waiting.
from the Overclocker. Neo is here from the Overclocker, and it's gonna be our specialist go-to guy in terms of opinions and
Can you hear that?
and tests.
You hear? Just keep talking, Tor. Go ahead.
Okay, so online competition update. We had a few competitions that were or actually going or recently closing. If you guys did participate in any of these competitions on the website, just let us know. We're going to be talking about the Rookie Rumble 22. And Timothée, if you can show up what's going on. There was actually about 80 different overclockers and the competing in this Rookie Rumble. The Rookie Rumble is the first competition that you're greeted with when you're joining HWBot. Usually it's based on XTU, and it's for all the people that have less than 3 months of history on HWBot. So if it's less than 3 months you have joined hwbot.org, you can always go and participate in the Rookie Rumble. That's already the 22nd one this year. We although add that one is a bit yeah, we can see it now. Yeah, thank you.
So guys, I'm trying to figure out why Neo has no sound at the same time.
So the Rookie Rumble 22 has been going on for like a bit more than a week now, and you have 12 days remaining to go there. And the Rookie Rumble is usually appreciated by all the newcomers, especially because of XTU, because it's so easy. You just it and you get greeted by, hey, can you just do you want to see it in this competition? And if you want to see all the scores like we did to OC-Esports.io, and you're gonna see all the different competition right there. The actual leader for the ranking of this competition is, I cannot read it from the I cannot read it from the live.
It's Fiesta mode.
Fiesta mode from USA with 111 points. And if you want to see who else is actually fighting in this competition, you can just go on oc-esport.io. Second competition that we have is the Rookie Rumble AMD.
It's a sad
18.
one, only 4 users.
There's only 4 users, so if you want to gain some competition points, go in the AMD one and go try to compete there. If you're just new and you have an AMD platform, you can just run the benchmark that is used for this competition, and you will. Well, that's gonna be easy to end up in the top 3 on this one and gain some extra points when you do have it. Yeah, I'm a bit sad to see that on the AMD side. Anyway,
yeah, it happens.
the novice nibbles have 12 days left too. As we get used to it, we have the French team in the lead.
We have French team in the league, followed by Overclock.net and HardwareLux. Actually, Overclock.net went back quite a bit, so I think Coquetland should start to be careful, because the guys over there, I think, are getting organized. So I wouldn't be too feeling too secure about their first place now, even though they're nearly leading every stage. So yeah. Gonna have to watch
it's
out.
been a tight battle. It's been a tight battle between Coquetland and Overclock.net for the past few novice nibbles. I can see that HardwareLux.de, the German team, is actually trying to catch up with them.
Yeah, but still far away. Only 132 points. Everyone else is above 200. So tough.
You never know who's in though.
All right. Moving on?
Moving on. Let's do the MSI one.
Oh, yeah, okay, the MSI battle. So this one, so you know, MSI had the 2D battle, now it's the 3D battle. And for the 3D battle ambience, which is everything above 20 degrees Celsius, etc., we have Raus 009 from Peru. that is leading. He was also pretty active in the previous round, so it's not a surprise to see him here again. I'm sure he's actually looking to be the MSI Godlike champion, or if we can call it like this, so the one that is going to have the most points over all the rounds. Xobonixox from the USA, and Kulti, sorry if I mispronounce your nickname. So yeah, for this one there's not that much to say. There's still a bit of time left. Well, a bit of time, just a bit of time, 1 day and 22 hours. So if you guys want to participate in that one and show how good you are on MSI hardware in ambient temperature, go ahead. Extreme 3D battle, 8 overclockers in that one, Perika Barry in the lead, closely followed by Dr. Weiss with actually only 5 points behind, so not that much of a lead. And Dominator from Russia, I think. Oh no, Montenegro, I think it's Montenegro. Really bad with those flags. It was 47
I think
points.
It's Serbia.
Serbia? Oh yeah, Serbia, right, correct, exactly. Moving on.
You fail.
Yeah, actually about Team Cup, which is pretty much the biggest competition for the summer. So this one is all teams, and I think here USA is simply dominating the whole ranking. So we have classic platforms at the top with 844 points, overclockers.com with 822 points, and we've got Team MLG represented here tonight, I suppose, with 634 points, which is not bad. I would say there's pretty much like 2 main groups, right? There's the groups of the guys that have more than 800 points. There's the groups around like 550 to 650, I would say, and then there's everyone below that point. There's not that much time left actually for the Team Cup. There's about 12 days or something. Well, it says 23 days here. I'm not sure the counter is correct. Yeah, it's actually correct. 23 days, so it's actually not that much time for the guys that would be below to catch up, unless they have a lot of backup scores. Also, there's one thing to know is the Team Cup. You can see here there's a lot of sub-competition or the sub-challenges for CPU with every time. Like here, 10 stages in there. Some of the stages are already closing or closed. So basically, it's gonna get harder and harder to catch up as the time is passing by. So always keep an eye on those submission deadlines. Last team competition we are going to talk about today, Old School is Best School. We already mentioned that one. It's based on Socket 3 and Voodoo graphics cards, some old school goodness, I would say. Hard OC Czech team is in the lead right now with 25 points. Classic platform is back. They were not here last week, so I guess they're finally awoken from the Team Cup and said, yeah, well, there's no way we can let anyone else win in there, so let's go. Interestingly speaking, stage 1 has no submission at the moment.
Yeah, that's the Socket 3, and that's the Socket 3 is very hard to source now because it's quite old.
It's quite old, and it's also, yeah, it's like, you know, back then
like
there were less boards sold, so the quantity available is also lower. And yeah, I think I still have one at home in France somewhere, but really it's like that kind of socket. I don't even know if it works.
I had some, and when I moved to Canada, I just threw them away. It's like, 46 CPU. What are you gonna do with that? It's like, okay, I keep the Athlon XP, I keep the Pentium 3. But like the 486, nah, just drop that in the bin. And then now it's like, damn it, I should have kept it.
Yeah, well,
that's
how it is.
Than I am.
That's how it is. So I guess that's about it for the competition, guys. Huh? There's nothing else I have to add.
Lewis or Joe, do you still have one of the Socket 3 mainboard?
Sorry, what?
Socket 3?
Socket 3.
Oh, last
You don't even know what this one is?
No, this one.
What are you gonna do with it these days? You know, it's not even good. Like my phone's probably faster. You know,
your phone is definitely faster. Well, that reminds me something of the of a post from Massman, from Peter from HWBot on Facebook, saying that was that Hideo,
Hideo
the Japanese
Japan,
guy, that it was a legend in Super Pi in 2001. And he catch up the one of the world record again on this. And it's like, damn, it's like 15 years. So this guy, I've seen like pretty much all the new hardwares like evolving, and so on, and keep on staying at the top spot for that. That's quite impressive. ObscureParadox, I know you're actually running into the Team Cup, so you're cheering for Team LMG in the fight, I guess.
Yeah. So there's quite a few of us. We've we got a few things set up, but I think the main challenge we had was the same with what you're having with the latest old school's best school, is a lot of the old hardware we just didn't have. So in those stages, we just kind of had to sacrifice it and concentrate fully on what we have and try and push for the absolute most out of that. Try and get 50 points in them and see what happens, basically.
Good, good. And do you have a lot of, I'm gonna say that,
enthusiastic benches?
Yeah, enthusiastic benches for the Team Cup.
Yeah, no, it's got quite a bit of a forum chat going on. There's quite a few of us taking part in it. But I think as the team is slowly growing, so I think this year we probably would be happy with the top 3, but next year we're definitely going to give it a big push. So, well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I don't rule us out just yet, but classic platforms are going to be very difficult to catch. They've got a lot of top guys there.
They have a lot of piles of old hardware, I think, as well.
Yeah, Mr. Scott's got everything.
Well, that would be funny if there is no one that might be able to source for the Socket 3 mainboard. It's like
they bought all of them, maybe. Yeah. Who knows?
yeah, who knows? They just go on a buying spree on eBay. It's like, oh yeah, I want this one. I want this one. And Joe, you were competing in one of the competition that we didn't talk about. That's the Challenger division. You're in Division 1.
Yep.
So how's it going so far? Do you have a lot of expectation for it?
Yeah, I expect to probably win all of them. That's my expectation. I don't know. I got a pretty far ahead right now. Just without submitting two of the benchmarks, I have the other 3. So I have first place on those 3. So I want to take the other 2. So it's basically Fire Strike Extreme. I got that one by a very good amount. And then what's it called? XTU. I still have some more stuff to test for that one. And then I have W Prime to do, which I just haven't ran. I'm doing a bunch of stuff, so I need to figure out a game plan soon because it's going to be ending soon.
Yeah, you're third right now in the rankings, so.
Oh, what happened in third? I was 4th before, I thought. Oh, maybe not.
Well, you're just missing 2 stages, actually. Stage 2 and Stage 5.
Yeah, I thought I had another one in there. Oh,
I see that a French guy is on the top of the ranking.
Yeah, I think he didn't submit one before, so now he submitted, so that way he went up. I don't know. I'll be submitting soon on the other 2.
So actually, the overclocking rig you had behind you is gonna be used for the Division 1.
Probably not. No, there's the next 2. I'll end up doing a 5960X with W Prime because it's basically the best score, and the more cores the better. Skylake only has 4 cores, so basically my big monster 8 core is going to come out. And then you have I think it was the 240? No, the R5 230 that you have to do for graphics on Vantage. So I'll basically do that on X99 with the champion board, both of them. Just do that. And then I'm going to probably redo XTU with a 5930K I have. The one I had, the 5820K there, like the Encore, the cache was just terrible. It wouldn't even do like 48. So, yeah, 48. I have a 5930K that would do like 5100 or 5200, so that should make it a little bit higher.
Well, as long as you do it live, that's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Well, that's the next topic, and I know you're gonna be like, well, not sure I'm gonna do it again. Not sure that will be like this. Before switching to the next topic, Neo, in all of the Overclockers issue, you can always find a recap about all the rankings, right?
Yeah. Well, if Peter or him decide to write it, yeah, it will be there.
And if I don't make spelling mistakes or put the wrong flag,
if they write it, it'll be there.
Things like that happen.
Yeah, so in the last issue that was in page 12 and 13, I guess. So if you guys didn't read the Overclockers yet, you can go to theoverclocker.com and read the issue. It's always a good things to read. It's actually faster to read than online online reviews. It's more consistent and more straight to the point. So, and you don't have like 25 pages of benchmark.
No, not the same benchmark over and over again.
Yeah. So, challenge of streaming overclocking sessions. I was intending some pun to Steponz. So basically, streaming OC sessions is when you do a bench sessions like Joe was doing just before the show, and you're just sharing the love with the world, basically. And there's a few challenges to that. So we all know that streaming is big in gaming, but no, before that, like no one was watching gaming streaming before. So that's something that's actually created itself in the market. The internet connections, the bandwidth increase. We can now we have games that have spectator modes directly built in. We have the driver that can do the encoding. We have the quick sync, the NVDA, NV encode, and stuff like this that can directly encode on the hardware and not using extra extra cycle and slow your games. So like all the technology is actually now ready for like gaming in like streaming gaming basically. But on overclocking side, it's a bit more different. Timothy, what could you say are the two main challenges when you want to do an overclocking stream?
Well, I guess, like you said, there's different challenges. Mainly the capturing without impacting the system. That's one thing. That's easily solvable with capture card, but you need an external PC on the side to actually do the capture sending through the internet. So that's still the kind of tricky part. I guess Steponz has more insights on that of how it went for him. Basically, when we do streams at OC-TV, we use the same technique. There's no magical solution for streaming overclocking at the moment. It's all about just figuring out and being able to troubleshoot really quick. Or depending what kind of usage you do, if you do 3D, it can very quickly be a pain in the ass at some point. I guess, yeah.
well, you said it. There is the technology that exists. There's no miracle in that. Yes, we can use capture card, and I think Joe will jump on this one. We can use capture card, but sometimes the resolution change when you launch the benchmark and so on is like the capture card doesn't really like that.
Maybe Joe, just tell us what you use actually. It's more interesting.
I have the box around here somewhere.
I can show it. It's the same than this, if you want.
Yes, that's the one.
Unless you have the red version, but this is the light one, which you only need because the red one is if you have a PlayStation or something.
Well, you mean this one?
I want to get mine now.
I think mine's a little bit
This show is not sponsored by Evermedia, but if you guys want to sponsor it, please do.
No, I had a couple issues. The digital interface, usually on like NVIDIA cards, we run in like analog. So I want to take VGA out instead of taking a digital like DVI-D and DVI. Was it A? Or no, DVI-D, and then there was the other one. I can't remember the name of it. DVI, that's it. Yeah, but taking that out from VGA causes a bunch of problems because you need an active connection. So when I was going digital, I have cold issues. So at certain temperatures, I'll have where everything will just mess up. So I wouldn't be able to go as cold. So I'd keep on going back from VGA to DVI, and then just trying to mess with different things, different cables and stuff, and it was driving me absolutely nuts. Basically, I ended up having to just take a camera and put it right at the screen because it was just causing me so many headaches. I would basically kill a bench, but instead of being able to rerun it, I wouldn't be able to do it. I'd lose the interface every single time. So it was kind of to have to go back and forth, and then I have to reboot, and then I have this weird issue with the Gigabyte board with the Kingpin card where I'd have to basically do a cold boot, and then I have to heat it up again, and then go it over, and just like it was just a big challenge to overcome. So
like a separate recipe to get it to work.
Oh man, and then the thing is too, when I was doing that stream, I did the second day, is I spent more time actually messing with the stream than I did actually overclocking. So it was a little bit frustrating.
Well, you saw us covering some of the overclocking competition in the past, and you saw it. We run everywhere, from like the day before to the last minute of the show, because it's always like this. And we have no spectator mode. We have when you bench, you don't have the internet connection. Maybe no, there's no way to get what's going on the computer except using external devices. And those external devices doesn't react well to what we're doing, or there's some limitations. So the main limitation for you right now is that you have to bench with HDMI if you want to capture. And if you want to bench like analog with the VGA plugs, you cannot really capture that.
Yeah, you need a series of splitters, right?
I just bought one of those VGA to HDMI converters, but it's an active connection where it will power off a USB. So I'm hoping that will work. I just haven't tested it out.
Yeah, that should work. I think that should work. You will see. You will let us know how it works with the resolution. Usually, it's fine as long as you don't change too often resolution, which is usually the issue when you bench 3D.
Yeah, trust me. It's one thing doing all the 2D stuff like Dino's been doing.
Yeah, it's very stable, right? Because the screen is more or less always the same.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's so much easier. But when it comes to 3D, I mean, it really it's a challenge. But I'm gonna keep on playing with it. And so when I'm just try to perfect it as much as possible in my downtime, and then when I start getting like the good hang of it, I'll probably be doing it all the time. So it'll be some in the future that I'll be doing quite more. So.
You talked about Dinos. That's a guy from Team AU, although from Australia, and he did use the same capture card as we just show and so on. And he was benching only 2D, so for him it was just plug the computer and through HDMI, and there's no impact at all. And that was it was more explaining like how to prepare the system rather than just run for the benchmark. And then he explained how to prepare, how to set up, and how to start benching for it. So that was actually quite great to watch. I did enjoy it, even though that was quite late in the night for me to watch it. But that was great. And there was although BuildZoid that is actually right now on the live chat, is from the subreddit. Is the moderator of the subreddit /r/Reddit overclocking. And I watched some of his live over the past 2 weeks, and what he did is just like he had an extra camera recording the screen. The issue is you can't. The main challenge with that is that you can't really see what's going on the screen. You can basically see what's going on, but you cannot read any of the information.
Or it's overexposed, or it works, but it's very complex.
Like the focus on, because I was using the Logitech, was it 9100 or
C920?
920.
Oh, that's
C920. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like they're trying to get them to focus. Like if you look at where when Dino was benching, when he was trying to show stuff up on the screen, it was kind of like difficult to point it to be able to get it to go look perfectly at the screen. So
yeah, the autofocus on those cameras is pretty slow. Actually, it's almost you have to pilot them manually all the time or something.
Yeah.
So
the main issue is the because that's actually the one we are using. Timothée used the C920 from Logitech. I used the same one. I think that Joe, you're using the same one right now.
I have like 4 of them.
Well, I have a brand new one right here that I still haven't opened yet.
I think I have one that I haven't opened. I don't know. I think it's in the closet.
That's the spare. So yeah, one thing is to get the hardware. The second thing is to get the information. So far, what is the what is for you missing, Joe, in terms of like information we can give to the viewers?
What, as far as, well, you gotta also do the software, right? The software part is to be able to capture it, like, and make different views and stuff like that. Because that's one of the biggest problems I had is I ended up using this one software. It's what is it? XSplit.
OBS. Oh, XSplit.
Yeah, and I you know what it was is the basic ones that they give you, like the basic. You have to sign up for an account and you can just get a bunch of basic stuff and get it one. That would seem to work fine, but when I bought this little AverMedia thing, they gave me a certificate free 3 months. As soon as I switched it over, my whole stream just destroyed my laptop. I wasn't even allowed, like I couldn't do any streaming whatsoever. It would like do about like 3 gig of memory, and my laptop just wouldn't handle it. So I ended up having I got a tip from Dino to do, I think it was OCB?
No, OBS,
OBS.
Open
OBS, yeah.
Broadcasters Project. Yeah.
Yeah, the OBS stuff worked actually pretty good. I was actually
It works pretty good, yeah. The advantage is that it's using QuickSync, so if you have a Core i 5th generation, or you can use that to encode without too much CPU load.
Nice. Yeah, it works well. I mean, I'm using a Broadwell laptop, so I mean, it works pretty killer. I totally ditched the other software. I was not gonna keep playing around with it. So.
And yeah, we did mostly use OBS in the past with Timothy at OverClocking-TV. They have two versions now. They have the old one that is you can have QuickSync and so on, and they have the new, a multi-platform one that is it's quite stable now. It was in beta for a few months, and nowadays it's quite stable. So if you want to give it a try, guys, if you want to record or bench your stream sessions, the first step is to get a camera, then a capture card, and maybe some splitters or active converter if you want to do it.
Start with 2D, it's easier.
Yeah, 2D is always the easiest, of course. And the main issue is that we cannot install anything on the platform we're benching, because that's going to impact performances.
Yeah, we don't want that to happen.
Then
I would never stream.
So that's for the hardware and the requirement side. Lewis, do you have any idea or challenges that you can see going on for streaming overclocking sessions?
Yeah, but for me, it's not so much like the hardware requirements and stuff. It's more the viewer engagement. That was the real challenge that we had with the MSI OC Academy. It was, how can we make this engaging for the viewers? Because let's be honest, nobody really wants to watch someone do a Super Pi run, and it's just a couple of things popping up every so often.
Or something, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
exactly.
You can watch someone doing Super Pi run, but not like 50 fucking times in a row. Oh, sorry, I said the F word. Excuse me.
Exactly. So I think the idea for us was get something that's quick, so you're going to get new scores often. So that was XTU for a start, because it doesn't take that long to run XTU. You can fire out scores pretty quickly, and then you've got a constant update. And the other thing we did was, because it was a knockout stage, we had the viewers vote on their favorites to come back into the tournament after they got knocked out. So I think it was Top Dog that got voted back in, and Gavbon.
Yeah.
MSI. So add something else, and it was a good stepping stone. Like, it was a good start. Of course, it's nowhere near where we need it to be just yet, but it was definitely a move in the right direction. So that was positive, really. And hopefully, yeah. Sorry, go on.
It's okay. The as you say, one of the main thing is how you engage viewer on an overclocking stream. As you know, and that's why we're doing this. We're OverClocking-TV, so of course we've been doing that for quite some time, and that's one of the main reasons. Like, every time we go on events or we get asked to to stream one of the competition, like we did for the MOA or we did for the few competition in the past, it's like we always say you need to have commentators. If you don't have the commentators, you cannot understand what's happening. You cannot see what's going on. Basically, you're missing a lot of information. So, like, the commentary is very important when you're doing overclocking, at least for explaining what's going on. Especially if you stream on Twitch or YouTube Gaming now. If you stream on Twitch or YouTube Gaming, it's like people might end up on your stream for no reason, because you're on the front page or because they saw the link somewhere and say, oh yeah, hardware streaming, I'm just gonna see that. It's not a game, but it's different. And then they arrive there and it's like there's someone benching like Super Pi on one side and someone is benching, I don't know, like 3D Mark 01, and people have to explain what's going on.
Yeah.
So that's why the commentary part is very very important. And Timothy, do you have any idea of what could be better done for that? Without giving too much indie information so far.
No, I mean, like a lot of things can be changed in the way you make things entertaining. Like ObscureParadox said it. It's mainly all in the format. So you have to make competition a lot more fast-paced. I mean, like running long benchmarks or benching for 5 hours on one stage or things like that. Those have to be things of the past for live competitions. This is something that is absolutely not working. It's great maybe for attacking global first places or world records, and if you do it at home or if you do it inside a company for some kind of PR event or something like that. That's okay because there's a target and people are going for it, and etc. etc. But if you have multiple people in the same room supposedly competing against each other, for me it's, you need to have something where there's a score every 10 minutes minimum. If not, like even every 2 minutes, you need to have a score of somebody. If not, it's just plain boring, you know. When you watch a game, when you watch soccer, every 30 seconds there's something going on. If not, you know what, I'm gonna grab a beer and disappear on my couch, you know. So that's a big thing. Then second thing is the capture thing. That's gonna eventually arrive one day, I guess. That's still complicated. Also, one thing we saw during the stream of Dino is as well, for overclocking, a lot of the information is actually not on the screen. It's something on the hardware. It's the debug LEDs, it's the temperature meters, it's your voltage meter to control, because the system is not capable of giving you anything close to accurate most of the time. So all this is part of what makes overclocking interesting for an overclocker. If you don't have that on an overclocking stream, then, well, it is an overclocking stream, but it's not really, because all you see is some guy pouring LN2. Yes, you have the commentary, that's also very important, and but it's not sufficient to keep people engaged because they can't see what's going on. So you need to be able to pull all this information, have it on the screen, available for the commentators to at least mention it if they can. XTU is great, GPUPI is great as well, because they allow us to do our competitions where we are connected to the network, so participants can submit eventually really quick the scores, and the commentators can have all the details of the setup, right? They can read the different frequencies, multipliers, so that's already a big progress. But most of the competitions are still done offline. People are not connected to the network. In that case,
another one thing,
it's kind of using
to get a very good score.
Yeah, well, it's kind of using its point, right? So that's all the different things in there. And for home sessions, yeah, I think Steponz pointed out, it's like it's good for 2D to do HDMI capture. I think that's great. I think more people should try it out. You eventually, for sure, at the start, end up spending more time doing it than actually benching. I guess once you get used to it, you're probably gonna spend less time in the technical thing and enjoying more doing your stream, like Dino did, because once it's set up, it's working, then you can go ahead and do your thing. 3D is still going to be very complicated until the day we completely abandon VGA, I think. And even then, I hope the code problem will be solved, because there's no problem solved, and the problem will remain forever eventually. So that's another big problem, and yeah, I'm not too sure where the issue is for that. It's probably either driver. I don't know what exactly is going on. So
I think that the analog signal is much more, I'm gonna say that,
more stable.
It's more reliable.
I won't say more stable.
It's reliable.
It's just like the slight variation won't impact the complete system.
But you have to know every time you add an adapter, you're losing quality again. So eventually, this is not a good solution, right? Because you're splitting, then you're powering with external cards, so you have to have clean USB power to that, or you have a bit of noise on your signal. You pipe it into a capture card, which is again compressing the signal. Then you pipe it into a PC, which is compressing it again to send it to Twitch. So you know, it's not going to be high quality enough for something that is you want really slick, where people can read all the details. So that's gonna still take a little bit of time, I think.
Especially on the benchmark that we use, that we need to read numbers, or we need to read specific part of the benchmark, like SuperPi. If you bench SuperPi, it's just line of numbers. If you can't read the numbers, it's like you don't see anything.
Don't even try to run SuperPi on a 4K screen. It's horrible. You don't see anything, even yourself.
Well, you can try Geekbench. You guys try Geekbench at all? It's like a little indicator, like
you got a little progress bar.
At least the score is massive.
Yeah, at least it comes up like where you can see it, but it's I don't know. It's one of those benchmarks. I don't like.
So yeah, I guess benchmark makers have to think about that too, right? If they want people to stream the benchmarks and where we can see stuff, well, maybe you have to have a stream mode or a stream template into your benchmark. When we did the World Tour on XTU, we had a preset for the World Tour where we had XTU can actually customize a lot the interface. You can change the font size, you can change the colors of the different graph meters, you can adjust the sections on the screen to make it larger or smaller. So we used that to make a stream version of XTU where people could actually read what was going on, even captured through the card, because if not, when you reduce it to 720p and play it in your browser, you could not see anything anymore.
Yeah, the XU thing was great because we could change the like as you say, like the font size, so it was actually easier to read on screen. And I remember I had the discussion with I can't remember who was that. I think that was Niels from FutureMark, one of the developer at the FutureMark, the company behind 3D Mark and PC Mark. And I told them, it's like, hey guys, if you get the HUD, actually the exact space where you can see the frames going and the FPS, if you can make that one bigger, that would be much easier for us for streaming. That will piss everyone off, of course, because that's going to be taking more space rather than the screen. But in the end, it's like, if you can get the information, that's going to be information interesting for the viewers too.
Yeah, that's what's tough about FSE too, because you can't see any frames or anything when you put LOD on.
Yeah, exactly.
That's another issue.
Yeah, so like you see everything's garbled. There's like, oh, it's messed up. No, it's not messed up. It's working correctly. But
and you don't want to turn on the extra overlay of Precision X, because if not, you're gonna lose a little bit of frames per second.
Yeah, that can kill you sometimes.
It can kill you away from a record or a top score.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I mean, you try to get every performance you can out of it, and you don't want to put something on there just to display, to make it look pretty, because it might cost you. So it's tough.
Well, I mean, we do have a good suggestion from BuildZoid on the chat. Make a benchmarks that cover the screen in explosion and flashing line when you get a high score.
Yeah.
At least you know what's going on. Hey, it's exploding. All good.
You'll need a internet connection for that, though. Benchers won't be happy.
It's true.
Actually, that's also another thing, guys. So those capture cards, they're great, right? Because they do hardware encoding, so it doesn't heat no matter how much precision or pixels you want. You tell them to provide 8 megabits per second on the USB, and they will do it. But once you pipe it into your CPU and actually want to encode this live, I don't know, Steponz, if you noticed that, but when you bench 3D, well, depending which moment you are in the benchmark, the CPU might just saturate at some point, because there's so much details in 3D Mark. You're basically asking your CPU on your encoding machine to send to Twitch or whatever to render this on the fly. Okay, man, you know I have this massive GPU here, but it's cool. You can do that on your 4 cores. So yeah, that's also again another issue where you lose quality or drop frames or whatever.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed doing it actually, because it was kind of fun to interact with people when you were talking. The first time I did it, I didn't really know that there was a chat on the one, so like the whole time I had no idea. The second time I did it, I ended up when I was interacting and talking with people and but I was trying to also concentrate more on the bench. But that's why I was trying to give as much info in the screen where you'd see like voltage, temperatures, 2 views on the screen. I mean, that stuff added like a bunch of tax to my system. I was like, oh, I need to build a big system now for it just to be able to do anything. So hopefully that's the plan, really, and just to spend time on it when I'm not benching.
That's the one thing. It's like you're gonna have one special computer to bench, and you're gonna have one special computer to do the stream. Yep. And it's not overly complicated, but it's getting it's getting complicated to just do a stream. Yeah. Rather than plug the 2 webcams on your laptop, go bench on the side, and go for it, right?
Well, yeah, I wanted to. You gotta see, the thing is, if you were just to look at a screen, like the stream, I mean, you have to have a bunch of different things going on, because I mean, me pouring, I mean, I am a good-looking guy and all, but like, I don't think you want to see me pouring the whole time, So like, that's why I was trying to give different views, and so that way you can actually see the screen and temps. I mean, it's very informative. I had a lot of people come to me and say, "Wow, I learned a lot just from watching you." I was like, "Well, that's cool. I'm glad I helped you out." You know, so.
Well, that's the challenge that we're facing today.
Let's move on to DDR4.
Yeah, requirement for hardware and all the data that we have. One question before moving to DDR4, Neo. You know, we talk about streaming the benchmarking sessions and so on. You did some tests in the labs. Will you be ready to stream that live next time?
No, it doesn't really lend itself well to that. I mean, for instance, if you go and you buy a pizza, you're not interested in seeing the guy bake the pizza. You just want the pizza, right? So some things just don't lend themselves to that. Is not.
That would be interesting.
That's the best analogy so far. Well, let us know, guys, on the live chat what you think about the few live stream about overclocking that you saw and what you would expect to see in the near future. So we're gonna anyway take the comments either on the live chat now or later on the YouTube replay in the comments. We are always monitoring them to see what's going on. Talking about monitoring, who is following us? This one is, we got a follow from Une Grosse Poutine. So I guess this one is from the Quebec area.
That sounds
Poutine
like
is one
Jonathan.
of the famous dishes. Yeah, seems like some of our friends from Quebec living in Taiwan. Topic number 3, guys. DDR4 price drops, Skylake K mobile, IFA, and so on and so on. That's the new sections we have in the OC show. Before that, we were having like specific topics for it. This one gonna be more like the news in the industry that's going on, or the interesting stuff we want to talk. It's gonna be always related to what we are doing, mostly overclocking. But sometimes we can maybe, like the Windows 10 launch was one of this topic. Timothée, what are the topics we want to talk about today?
DDR4. There's not much to say besides this.
Price is dropping.
So DDR4 is dropping down at a not quick price drop, but it's pretty consistently going down since pretty much ever since the start. So we haven't really noticed that before, but it's only now that the price is actually hitting the $100 here in on the chart. That actually makes it very significant, because you notice that it started around 200-ish. So it's 50. It's already half price, from what it used to be at the start, which makes DDR4 still more expensive than DDR3. But it's getting closer and closer, and I think that's due to two things. That mainly the manufacturers of memories have ramped up the production. There's more kits on the market, prices dropping, and also adoption of DDR4 of course makes a lot more sense now with Z170 out and the chipsets and all that stuff.
That's one thing. Before, DDR4 was only reserved for X99 platform, so that was actually quite expensive. I remember one of the I think that was Corsair that was doing a 128 gigabyte kit that was retailing for like 1,800 US.
Yeah,
it was expensive. Well, I remember that one.
But it's plus also for X99, you needed so much more kits, right? If you want to fill your banks, it's like the demand for launching such a new module is really high all of a sudden, because it's not like people are gonna upgrade and buy a kit of two DIMMs. No, they're gonna buy 8 DIMMs. So it's like it was really a lot of pressure, I think, on the start, and even now still some manufacturers are probably having a hard time coping with memory provision, especially the high bins, the very, very fast ones. Even though I don't think most of the demand, I suppose, is on the mid-low end kind of category.
Yeah, it's probably like between 2,400 and 28 or something like that.
Yeah. The main impressive drop in the price for the DDR4 is like you say, between March and now, like March and early September, it dropped 50% in price. It went from like above 220 to like 150, 105.
Yeah, that's what I said.
So that's the average price for like a 2 times 8 gig or 4 times 4 gigs. It's actually getting affordable. On X99 you needed like 4 kits to make good use of the quad channel system, and that was quite costly. And now with Skylake, so Skylake gonna be like only you can do that 2 or 4 if you want, and then the thing is, we can see it first is the drop when the X99 platform was in use, and then the last drop is from like mid-June when Skylake got released. And the one of the things to keep in mind, although there is that there was some, like as you say, the memory maker, like the chip maker, did some move, especially Samsung. I think that was like around February. Samsung actually at the first price drop, it's due to Samsung, and Samsung dropped the price of their IC, so they dropped the price of the chip to gain better market share. So they are against SK Hynix and Micron. So that's actually basically the three main manufacturers of ICs: SK Hynix, Samsung, and Micron. So Samsung dropped the price, so not that low, but they dropped the price big time. So all the other guys were like, we have to drop the price to keep on actually sell stuff. And that was a broad move to drop the price, get more market share, and they announced that they're gonna stop dropping the price in August.
So I guess I have one question though for Neo. Is like, what do you think the drop is also related to? Is there any other reason than just the supply is supplying more, or adjusting prices, or?
Well, DDR4 is used in other things outside of computers, mobile phones, mobile devices. So demand there is always going to be greater than in desktop systems. So if the demand grows there, it means that manufacturing is cheaper, and therefore it ends up affecting the desktop. So it's not just exclusively because of Z170 or anything.
Okay.
In fact, I would think it has very little to do with Z170.
So it's very recent, right? So
it has everything to do with all other things that use DDR4, from
servers.
Yeah, even servers, but usually like portable devices like smartphones. I mean, if you compare the volume of smartphones that are shipped to desktop chipsets, it's really big difference between those two things. So that's what causes price drops. And as always, price drops are inevitable, right? You've seen this happen to DDR1, DDR2, DDR3, DDR4. So we were going to get here anyway.
Yeah. Are we late on going there? Or?
No, we're actually very quick. Think about it. DDR3 lasted 10 years. So prices you are seeing now are matching what DDR took 10 years to get to.
So how long is DDR4 gonna last?
No idea. It's HBM next, so we'll just see.
Yeah, we'll see what's going on with HBM. The thing is, do you think the price will continue dropping, or that will stabilize there?
It depends, but DDR memory vendors are not opposed to losing money, just trying to get market share. I don't know what kind of business practice that is, but they've done it before, and they'll
volumes of cheap memory,
we'll probably keep doing it until we can't afford to keep losing money on it. So I don't know. You've seen this before with DDR3, so it's really exactly the same thing. Right? But I'm just glad to be done with DDR3. I've just had enough. And with DDR3, there are people with PSC, with all kinds of DRAM that you just can't buy as a new overclocker. If you're getting into overclocking now, and you didn't have PSC, you're screwed. Yeah. There's nothing that you can do. You're not going to run CL6 at 2666 while other guys can do that, right? You can't even get the Samsung ICs now. So it's just MFR on every new kit.
It was difficult. I remember trying to find PSC. It took me over a year to get a decent kit. And even then it was like I lost one module and I'm like, trying to find another module was like...
And even you as a very high-ranked overclocker, right?
You see how difficult it is.
It's tough. Those are so hard to find. Like, they just don't make them anymore. They don't have no stock. Like, people are just hoard them, They won't give them out.
Exactly.
So it's a
like check. You had to just go on hard above the for sale section and every day and hope that someone's selling a, G-Skill Pi kit. Not so much now, but back, when everyone was just kicking off with L2 memory, it was difficult to get they were expensive more than just hard to find.
And you didn't know what you're really getting. I mean, if you were getting a couple kits, you could tell which one's better and stuff like that. But overall, it was just really difficult. I mean, for a normal overclocker, like someone getting into the game and there's just, you'll never be able to do anything. So with DDR4 now, at least we're getting more of like on the same line where you can get some of the same stuff. It's
Everyone
just,
has
you
his
just,
chance. Yeah.
and I mean, that's good because, you know, if you have new guys coming, it doesn't discourage them as much to be able to do the stuff that we do, you know. So I welcome it, you know. It's more competition, more fun. You know, get to see some stuff, guys break through. It's good stuff.
So talking about ObscureParadox, you were talking about memory on LN2. Do you do that on a regular basis?
No, I've given it a go a couple of times on some PSC and stuff, but I've not really got the CPUs to make it worthwhile for me to keep doing it. So until I get a decent CPU, I won't be really dealing with that for a bit. It's just a lot of extra hassle, a lot of extra condensation you have to put up with. So find a good CPU first, and then the memory can come second. It's
well, you could always do a
5
gig challenge. Those are always fun.
Yeah, they are. But I suppose I'm more into just trying to beat as many records as I can as quickly as I can. So
I get it. I do my thing. I mean, I spend single card 3D. That's pretty much all I do anymore. So you find your niche, what you really like, and you just, because I mean, there's so many different types of benches you can do now that it's like, you just find something that you really like. I'd rather do that than run Geek Bench, you know.
So for you, Steponz, same. Memory on the LN2 is not so often, or?
Yeah, you know what it is I had the same thing with Haswell. I really never had that many good Haswell chips, so I would always have really bad luck with them. So it was always never, you know, for me to do LN2 on memory, it was just kind of pointless. I mean, you could do the 4 gig and 5 gig challenge, but it was just not worth it. So I put most of my time in the X99, and in the X99, I'll probably end up doing it soon, but it's just I'm gonna concentrate more on the 3D stuff. So, I mean, I'll probably since Skylake's coming now, now it's like evening everything out. More people can get into it. I mean, I think I'll be doing it a lot more. I have some new pots and stuff, so I need to test them out.
Great. I think that's all for DDR4.
We didn't talk so much about HBM, AFR. I don't know. Anyone wants to add something on that? But there's not so much out there anyway. So much.
The quick question looks good. That's it.
Neo, do you think we're gonna get like dim stick with HBM, or that's gonna be always used to be close to the dice?
I don't know. It'll probably be like that, because if it isn't like that, then companies like G-Skill, Kingston, what do? So they just literally stop existing then. So it has to be something like that.
Well, even the consumer, because how are you going to end up in, like, what if, okay, I'm going to buy this system and I only have 4 gig of memory. How are you going to get 8 gig? How are you going to get 12?
Exactly.
You have to replace motherboard or one, or
so
well,
it has
you
to
buy another SKU like you do for your phone.
No, that's economically that's not viable, right? Because the whole point for vendors is to keep you buying, right? But if you buy something that makes it very difficult for you to upgrade, then you just stop buying, right?
So I see here a whole other topic for another show. Actually, we could discuss that more in depth. See what actually could be making the future of desktops once HBM will be everywhere.
Oh yeah. What should actually concern you more about HBM is the GPUs going forward. Right now you have the 980 Kingpin, which is a fantastic card. Actually the best one. Period. Right. All the other stuff.
That's
nonsense. So.
That card is amazing.
I think that Kingpin Cooling that is on the live chat gonna be quite happy to hear that.
Oh, is there? Oh yeah, right.
No, but it is. So there's a lot of engineering that goes into that. Just make it very different from just the regular card, right? There's a lot of, but when you start dealing with HBM, how much has NVIDIA or AMD taken away from the vendor to, you know, differentiate themselves between the different ones, like the Lightning, the Hall of Fame, and so forth. So
it's one less thing that can be different from one card to the next, right?
Yeah, so that can be a real concern for overclockers. It's like, oh, okay, so what is the difference now? Like you see what the Fury cards are like, they're all the same. And you look at the PCB, what can you actually do to make that so much better than another
besides your own custom power design and stuff
exactly.
Like
so there's a lot of things that you need to think about going forward. We'll see though.
Should be interesting, really. I mean, because you saw XA when he was benching, was it the Fury that he had the unlocked one? I mean, I thought we were gonna have some major cold issues, and he was benching fine all the way up. So that was my biggest worry about it. I'm not sure that it's really gonna affect the new GPUs that come out. I mean, we all thought it was gonna be because of cold. You figure if it's coming out at -50, then it was like, oh, do you really need that much power delivery to it? I mean, that kind of that would be very disappointing. You know,
there is that. But you look at the memory difference, like on the Kingpin card, the Samsung chips, and the others, the Hynix, you can't do that anymore. You're stuck with what you have. Like, do you think?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
If NVIDIA decides we're going with Hynix, that's it for everybody. You know, it doesn't matter what.
I mean, come on. I mean, I know when Vince did everything with the Samsung. I mean, he's the only manufacturer that had Samsung on the 980 Ti. I think it was a requirement from NVIDIA. He had to go through special route to be able to get that stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, seeing them do HBM, I mean, that would kind of suck. Yeah. But you know what? You have different manufacturers because. You know, they were just talking about it the other day that Samsung's going to be doing HBM.
Yeah, for sure.
You have Hynix doing already HBM. So, I mean, how would that work with the vendor?
This is what I'm saying, because you buy the complete package with the GPU and the memory in the same package.
Options, right?
Oh yeah,
it's going to be one or the other. For you to remove. No choice.
Yeah.
So yeah, like AMD only does Hynix and then NVIDIA only does Samsung. I mean, yeah, that would kind of be a bummer.
Yeah. Sounds like another monopole kind of thing, right?
And guys, we're gonna have to move to the next topic quite soon, but HBM gonna be mostly that's gonna be.
I think we can do a whole show about HBM anyway.
Okay, you know what? Let's not talk about the next live OC show. We can talk about HBM and the future of memory.
That's perfect title. So moving on, Skylake K, amazing. So it was IFA last week, and IFA is this big trade show in Germany, in Berlin. And so there they usually launch more mobile stuff, everything that is smartphone, gadgets, all that kind of thing. And so there Intel had, basically they were continuing what they started announcing at Gamescom. They continued at IDF and they kept on going at IFA, and because this time it was actually really appropriate to launch everything that was mobile related. They had the Core M's and all that kind of stuff. Even the new CPUs for their compute sticks, different things like this. And among other announcements, they previewed a little bit at IDF with the overclockable laptops. They were mentioning the EVGA one on stage during the overclocking demonstration. And then at IFA, they actually launched the actual CPU that was in there. So, overclockable CPUs on laptop, Neo, is it anything new?
Of course, it's new in the fact that you can just change the multiplier and have the clock speed. But my biggest concern is that every single gaming notebook I've tested, all of them throttle. All of them.
Okay,
right?
So it's not totally new?
Yeah, but you're hitting temperatures at 94 degrees Celsius. Where's the overclocking headroom there? Because it's not necessarily the CPU that's the problem, it's the package within which they put the CPU, right? So, I mean, how do you beat the physics of just having a small space?
Especially from what I noticed, all the laptops that were launched, so with this overclockable SKU CPU, they all come with graphics cards. Yeah. It's like at least the mobile graphics card, right? So those laptops are by default going to heat more when you run a game because it's going to run from the GPU, right?
Let me make you an example. MSI GT80 Titan SLI, that throttles a lot. Testing that notebook, it starts at 3 point whatever. The speeds get as low as 2.7 gigahertz, and that's a thick notebook.
So cooling is the issue.
Cooling is always going to be the issue.
The big
exactly. Notebooks. I haven't tested a single notebook that doesn't throttle. So where?
You guys see the Asus one?
Which one?
The new way. It's supposed to be like water cooled. It has
the Asus one.
The honey, what is it? Honey bee thing.
It's attaches at the back of the notebook. Yeah, that looks interesting. That
very heavy actually, from what the reviewer was saying. He was saying the water cooling block was more heavy than the actual laptop. Yeah, but I guess it's a concept as well. Are they really going to sell it?
I don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah, but it's
that's just a rumor, and they showed pics. So it's not like when you look at it, it has like this big. I don't know. I would love to see how it actually connects to the laptop. I mean, what happens if you get a leak? You know, like I mean,
Yeah, water is
it
always an
seems
issue,
kind of
right?
crazy.
I mean, even with water cooling and those auto stops mountings where
There's still water that comes
there's
out.
still always 2 or
Yeah.
3 drops of water.
I have them right here on the CPU where you just
Yeah, there's always a bit of water.
Oh yeah, I mean
super
sometimes they
tight.
get a little clogged up too, so like they kind of get a little weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
I-
I'm gonna go back to this thing. Is it new or not? Because you, Truthman, you had, I remember, an MSI laptop back then. Like that was 6 years ago, maybe. Oh yeah,
that was way too long
good 6
ago.
years
That
ago.
was-
That was a notebook. It had like a turbo button. So that was already overclocking, right? It was maybe not the same with the multipliers and everything, but that was also
actually,
overheating
it
already.
was, I think it was
not?
boosting. I can't remember what it was boosting exactly, but I remember that laptops. I used it for like I think 3 years, and yeah, I had the extra power button on the side. I think MSI stopped doing that. I guess they will do it again with the 6200 HK.
This laptop you had was the very first gaming laptop, I think. The very early versions of the
That was the
laptops.
first one that was black and red, so we can say that was the first gaming laptop.
But wait a minute.
MSI, because Clevo's been doing them for like we had Sager here and Clevo. That's how I got into overclocking. Was
Really?
actually the game laptops. Yeah, I used to buy like the Sagers, like the desktop stuff that's in the actual laptop. Because I would travel for a living for every Monday through Thursday, and I would just bring that box. They weighed a ton. It was probably like 20 pounds, but I'm a big guy, so I used to carry it everywhere anyway. But I used to it would be like 45 minutes to battery or whatever. But then I would run like 2006 and 2005 always on the laptop. I'm like, oh yeah, this is kind of cool. That's how I got into benchmarking. It was pretty funny actually.
So
It was all from a
there's
gaming
use
laptop.
case,
Yeah.
right? There's a use case, right? As for overclock, I'd actually like to see GPUs on the notebooks being overclocked, not necessarily the CPU, right? There are a lot of SLI notebooks, and all of them.
Oh my god!
That 1080p notebooks with SLI. I don't know what the purpose of that is. It is better to have one GPU that's overclocked, right? Then you can use overclocking that way. So it does. Yeah.
So mobile NVIDIA locked, are they, for overclocking on notebooks? You can't overclock at all.
No, they do overclock with the driver, because NVIDIA released the driver to unlock them again, because they had locked them in a previous driver.
Oh, right, yeah.
And then there was a stink about that, and then they unlocked it again. So the way that vendors make notebooks and what Intel is trying to do, sometimes those things are just really opposed, right? So we want overclocking K-SKU, but notebook vendors are like, oh yeah, that would be great, but we don't know how to cool this. So
cooling is the issue.
Cooling, that's why we have this whole thing, LN2 and everything. That's why we overclock with LN2, because cooling is everything. But if you don't have the capacity to cool the case,
well, Asus might have found the solutions. They have a water cooling station for your notebook.
Totally.
That's gonna help for sure for those guys, yeah.
Totally. Asus is at least thinking about it. That okay, maybe we should try and do something about the cooling, which is an issue.
Are we going to see more and more opened laptops with everything split up and the pod on top? Because I mean, there's definitely some good gold medals and gold cups to get there.
That would be interesting to see.
Yeah. Wouldn't buy a notebook to do that to it.
That's pretty much the key right there, and then you have to do compensation. Like, what are you gonna do? Put Vaseline all over the thing, and then
repackage it every time you press a key.
Good luck with that.
All right.
Okay. So yeah, so that was pretty much it for the Skylake K mobile. So yeah, so we're gonna see everything is gonna depend on the power. Just one thing, ObscureParadox, what does that inspires you when you hear mobile laptop overclocking? Something you want to try, or it's like, not really useful?
Like, I'm uni student, so when I'm in university, I'm on my laptop a lot more than on my PC, and of course you get a lot of free time in between lectures, so a little quick gaming session here or there, get a few more FPS. Of course, it's always handy, but like Neo said, the issue I've always had with laptops is they run so hot, you can't even start to overclock them. Like I've got this HP thing, I put my right hand down and I'm starting to burn. So, so yeah, exactly. So I'm touching that.
Go ahead.
No, go.
Well,
No,
well, guys, I don't really know what to expect more than that. Joe?
No, but if you think about it, if you have multiple cores, because you know how many cores each machine has, I guess if they give you the ability to shut off cores and then be able to overclock certain ones and through, that might be cool. No,
that would be cool. Yes.
But
I mean,
that's turbo, basically.
Well, yeah, with turbo, but the thing is, you can control it.
Selective turbo.
I can actually go higher than turbo. Because right now you're limited to whatever the turbo speed is. So if you wanted to play around with it and get more of a benefit for a particular function that you're doing, because I mean, even if you're overclocking a laptop on battery, what are you going to do? Pretty much.
Well, you're going to do it for 30 minutes.
Actually, if you're on a battery, you're most likely going to do underclocking, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing too. You're gonna do underclocking. I mean,
but we saw was it Roman that posted a comparison of wattage depending of the actual frequency of the CPU. I think what he mentioned is that actually the clock you're running your CPU as doesn't really matter as long as you're not actually putting load on it. So the impact was not that. You could run it at 4 gigahertz or 3 gigahertz. It will not impact as long as you stay. If you're in idle on both, you're in idle on both, right? So
you should.
It's the same,
idle.
right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So meaning maybe the underclocking would maybe not help unless you deactivate cores. That would be probably the best way to.
It's like what Joe said. If you could deactivate
cores,
all the cores and maybe just use one and overclock that. And
then I mean, I would do that just for playing around for different benchmarks.
Yeah, that would work.
Yeah, remember even with Peter on the way to a world tour, I think to Europe, we were like underclocking his laptop in the plane to try to see, you know, in the Windows thing. Actually, you were benching the battery life of the laptop, see if the number was, you know, going up, but it was not really going up. And in the end, it just gets unstable because it's not enough voltage. But yeah, it's pretty limited though.
No.
Overclocking notebooks in the plane, really.
Well, underclocking.
Underclocking. Well, I remember I did use HWBot Prime in the plane. I think that was like last year, right after it went out. Well, guys, do you want to discuss more of any topics, because it's already an hour and 25 minutes we're in the show, so we should move to the next topic.
Go ahead.
And the next topic is overclocking in UK, and that's why we have you, Lewis, ObscureParadox. Yep. So we have the chance to have you on the show. Thank you for being here. It's I know it's quite late in the night for you. You are number 3 in UK right now. You are extremely active. You're one of the member of Team MLG, Middle Life Gamer, and
but you're not midlife gamer. You're not midlife.
No, I'm not. No, we got a couple of youngsters. Yeah. So
you're gonna do a spin-off of the team, like Entry Live Gamer or stuff like this, like.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And today we invite you to share with the all the viewers and so on, and how overclocking is in UK. So we went there in Cambridge for the MSIOC Academy, but how did that evolve since then? And well, basically just present yourself. How did you end up doing overclocking?
So I started off, I think, the same way that most people did, where a lot of guys who are gamers originally, they Google, how do I get more FPS on my computer for free, or something similar. And everyone stumbled across overclocking by that way, and it sort of grew from there. Really, I started thinking, well, am I running as fast as I should be compared to other guys? So I had a look, see how I could compare to other people, and then I accidentally found HardwareBot, and it basically became an addiction from there. Within like weeks, I was buying hardware that I could afford, because I was like 16, 17 at the time. So it was like socket A stuff, or whatever I could get cheap, DFI, LAN party, or whatever. But at the time, it was a bit of an odd place. We had 2011-ish, we had Bench Tech, who were pretty big at the time, I think. We had a lot of top guys on there. Kenny, K404, Jabski was pretty high up then. I think Gappo was doing a lot of stuff with AMD. And yeah, but I don't know exactly what the backstory behind it was, but something went on at Bench Tech, and the UK scene just sort of died on its face then, and it sort of taken a while for it to recover. So what we have now is we're sort of lucky. We got Hi Fizzman and Racing for Life, Richard. They set up Team GB, which is a fantastic support system. And what they will effectively do is, if there are aspiring, promising young overclockers or well, whatever age, they will try and support you in whatever way they can, whether that be power supplies, you may need motherboards or whatever. Within reason, of course, you have to, sort of show that you're going to use it for the right stuff, and they're more than happy to help you. And what came about after that was we had MSI coming in with support as well. We had the MSI OC Arena in Cambridge, which of course you guys came to, is how I met you. And that was another big step really in the UK. We hadn't had an actual bench meet in the UK for over 2 years, I think, before then. Like, considering we have 8-Pack, who was #1 in the entire world at that point, you would expect there to be some sort of...
There would be more going on.
Yeah, UK interest, some sort of events going on, but nothing. We had absolutely nothing.
OCN used to do events, right?
Yeah, Gapo, El Gapo used to sort out some events there, but I know more recently they've been taken over, haven't they? So there was a lot of issues for a few years there. You couldn't spend money or do stuff until that all sorted out. But I'm not 100% certain what's going on there, but I think that's going to kickstart again now. So hopefully we'll see more UK events coming out of them. But yeah, MSI OC Arena, there was a lot of new guys to OC there, well, to Extreme OC anyway, and there was a few old faces there as well. So you had Top Dog Dewi, who's been doing it for so long. He's been, the #1 in the UK Extreme for as long as I can remember, actually. He's a great guy. He's been doing it. He was there, and lots of new faces that got interested. Jumper, 183, Gavbon got back into it. Kitfit, he was there. He was in the Bench Tech days, I believe. So he was way back, and he refound the love for OC with that event. So that was good. But effectively, I don't think we've got a lot of vendors that are particularly interested in the UK either. I don't think that helps a lot. But that sort of side I don't deal with. I'm not pro. I don't get anything given to me for free. So. But
so you're not like Steponz, basically.
No, I'm not like Steponz. I pay for my DDR4.
Ooh, dig right there.
But
I remember that.
I think MSI, no, they've been pretty good. So I think expect a few changes in the UK, but I think we need to get the interest back again. We haven't got that many big benches, and we've lost a few good guys. So I mean, that's it really. It's not in a great state, and I think we just need to get some sort of interest back into it again. Get some of the old guys back if we can. Kenny K404, keep trying to nudge him to come back to OC, but I think he needs a break.
So who's your main inspiration from the OC scene, I guess, either in the UK or worldwide?
So, like, the guys I was following in my country was, Kenny K404. He did so much stuff with NVIDIA. If it was 8800, he probably had the record on it at the time. And Top Dog, he literally lives 15 minutes away from me, so being a fellow countryman, that was another thing. So those two really are
number
the two
one in the UK, right? Or second?
In the Extreme, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so number 2 in the UK behind 8-Pack. He just
behind
took that
8-Pack.
off me with the new OC-Esports points. He beat me again, so I need to get that back.
Yeah, he's really into competitive OC.
Yeah, so that really helped him out a lot.
How many hours per week do you bench?
So that's a difficult one for me because for me it's most of the time I have free. Right now I've been working like 10 days a week just to try and get some money for university. And then university's a difficult one as well because they have liquid nitrogen dewars, huge dewars at the university, and they won't give me any. I can't even begin to tell you how frustrating that is, but oh well.
You enrolled in the wrong
safety.
class. You are doing electronics. If you wanted access to surgery or stuff like that.
Yeah, they gave us a lecture on coal bugs effectively, and and they still won't let me, even though I practically explained the entire lecture, they still won't let me play with liquid
Then you're
nitrogen.
gonna have to do a thesis on supraconductors or something.
Yeah, yeah, not superconductors, because we don't like that in processors, do we? It needs to be a semiconductor, otherwise it's not gonna work.
Otherwise, it's gonna be like not working anyway.
Yeah, one.
You need to justify the access to LN2, come on.
Yeah, no, I really do, so.
Testing the limit of actual semiconductors. There you go. You can request 100 liters for that.
Yeah. So,
well,
yeah.
so how is the scene nowadays? After, I mean, is it like, do you think it's going bigger now? Do you think it's on its way to get bigger back in the UK?
It's hard to judge. We've got a few very dedicated benches. You know, you got Nick Ulp, who beat Massman in the MSI OC Arena. He's pretty dedicated. APAC, of course, you know, he's always out there to try and beat some sort of record. And Top Dog. Jumper's another one, but there's not. I can't say there's a number of guys that are doing it regularly enough for me to be confident in saying that the scene is growing at the rate I would hope it would, really, in the UK. Considering, like, there's 70 odd million of us in the island and hardly any of us benching, it's kind of sad.
And do you think that's because there's less than newcomers? Actually, do you have like workshop for the new guys?
No, you see, that's the thing. Like I said, the MSI OC Arena was the first meetup or workshop of any kind in like 2 years. So I think that is another area where it's
even the MSI OC Academy was aimed at people already doing it, right?
Yeah,
it was aimed at people that wanted to use LN2 for the first time. So that was like the step further, the extreme step.
And I know Indonesia, you know, Jagat Review guys, they are doing amazing stuff over there, and we have nothing like that yet. But
so you have to be the initiator.
Well, I'm a bit too young. I haven't got the cash or the time to do that. But you know, I'm sure there are definitely guys in the UK that are capable of doing it. High Viz, man, he puts a lot of effort into trying to build up the scene in the UK. So it's something it's worth talking to him about, actually. You know, seeing if we can get some workshops going. Like places like LAN events or something, where you've got gamers and you try and, well, everyone's trying to pitch it for gamers now, aren't they? I don't know a motherboard brand that hasn't got gamer written on it. So
there's no reason overclockers should not. Those are the best guys fitted to actually start to begin with. So
exactly. So we'll try and get in there maybe, and see if we can get the gamers to not break their systems, but push it a little bit further.
Have you guys been to any gaming events? Because I'm one.
No, I keep meaning to go to them, but something always pops up. There's a few big ones in the UK now, but they're a little bit too far out there for me to be able to get to them at the moment.
Yeah, they're very commercial, right? No, there's no overclocking there.
Yeah.
We have one down in Orlando. It's called Frogland. I'm going to be doing a bunch of liquid nitrogen stuff just to show it off and just kind of just show what we do and stuff. October 3rd and 4th in Orlando. So if anybody's out there, they can come check me out. I'll be there. But I don't know. I think one of the big things is to try to get it out more. I think a LAN is a good place because you got gamers there that are on PCs that, I mean, I know every time anybody comes and sees me, I mean, they're like, "Oh, this is cool. What is that? You know, how do you do that?" Stuff like that. I mean,
can you play GTA 5?
Yeah.
No,
but that's the thing. Yeah, that is the thing, though. You got to make it. If you're gonna get the gamers involved, you've got to try and make it engaging for them. So put it in terms that they'll understand. Like, you'll get more FPS from GTA 5. You'll be able to increase it from high to ultra, etc. I think that's where you got to start to engage the gamers as well.
Yeah, but that's one thing that's becoming less and less relevant because I mean, overclocking the CPUs like 1.5 FPS more. It's like, okay, the GPUs, like the GPU is more tricky usually because most of the times like the guys don't want to push it that much. But the gain, I mean, we did. I had a long talk with Timothy over the past years, over the past week. Sorry, but like, okay, so before when we were starting like overclocking, there was a huge improvement or a huge, can I say that, increase in performances that we could reach.
Yeah,
Nowadays it's not that huge anymore. Even if we gain like 50% frequency, it's like, well, you don't get 50% more performances for it. It doesn't.
Yeah, the old AMD Duron days and such, where you could nearly get double the CPU speed and the FPS just.
Yeah,
well,
back
like,
then
oh,
the
you
games
can
were very very
Yeah.
CPU intensive.
go to a LAN and tell the gamer, you can now play Minecraft at more than 60 FPS.
Ooh, that's gonna be useful. Actually, about the scene, Steponz, you are talking about the demo you do at the LAN. How is the actual scene in the US? Because is there events as well? Is it also quite a long time? Things are a bit kind of calm.
I don't know. It seems everything's on the West Coast compared to the East Coast because the US is pretty big. And the only event that I usually say, well, I think last year there was 2 events that I was in. It was Vegas. Well, technically that was this year. Vegas, and then at IDF. So this year I pretty much was just Vegas. I'll be at Vegas also this year, most likely. But that's it. They have some guys that do at some lands, like at PAX. I think there was like 1 overclocker there. I mean, there's really not that much going on. I was thinking about trying to get a bunch of support to throw an event. I talked about it last year in April, but I had some work issues come up and I just couldn't take any time off. I had to mandatory take like 2 weeks off. That would have been my time. I would have tried to do the event. So I'm gonna try to push an event in February timeframe and try to get all the US guys together, because there's pretty much not much going on. And we have a lot of people here that bench, and
it's among the largest community, right? In terms of people overclocking.
Yeah, it's kind of awkward. I mean, and the funny thing is too, when we go to events, we have a lot of fun. I mean, that's one of the killer things with overclocking. When you guys like end up meeting everybody, it's kind of like you put the name to the face, and you end up growing as a community where you get together a lot. I mean, that's the one thing about like the Team AU guys. Those core guys always get together and do stuff. You don't really see that anywhere else. And I mean, that's something that we should be doing as everywhere.
Yeah, I guess it takes a lot of time, right? Like from the overclockers themselves to organize that kind of thing. So if everyone is busy working and stuff, I guess in Australia it happens because Dino, part of his job is to do kind of that as well, right? So he helps to get the team of you guys together often. Part of his job. So I guess that's also the thing. If either in the UK or in the USA, there's no industry person there that is really initiating something around it. The others, they only can do that during their free time, I suppose.
Well, the geographic location too. I mean, for me to go to Vegas, it takes like 6-7 hours. I know when I go to Taiwan, I fly all the way to like San Francisco, and then I still got like a 13-hour flight. I mean, after that, it's killer. So I don't know. I hope it gets better here. I know I'm gonna try to do a push. I want to start going to more gaming events and just advertising stuff and just putting out there to do the overclocking stuff. And hopefully in February I'll be able to do an event too. So I want to get a bunch of these guys.
So last question for Neil. When you hear their story, what do you think about that? What do you think is the...
It's the same challenges all over the world. It's just economics. It's just interest. There are many things that take place in overclocking, and our relationship as guys inside is very different from the guys watching outside. So like the event that we're doing is strictly air cooling. So you have to introduce guys slowly to it. Yeah. If you start them off at... They appreciate seeing the LN2 always, and you'll always get the crowd, but you don't get them to bite. Nobody bites. It's the same reason if I take you to a drag racing meet, right, and I'm trying to get you into it, if all you're seeing are guys who look unreachable, who look like I'll never be able to get there, you'll just turn off. But if it starts with the air, and I sort of like encourage you, pull you a little bit, you're like, hey,
maybe give you a system. Hey,
I'll go to water cooling, and then I'll go to chilled water, and I'll go to something like dry ice. Dry ice is damn easy to. You don't even need to control that. and it's cheap, right? So I can get you to buy a part. I can get you to basically bait you in slowly. If I start you at the extreme end, there's no way you're gonna come with me. So it's that you need to sit and actually think about it, right? And if vendors would actually have more competitions that are novice, amateur, that kind of
enthusiast segment.
Try and get people and then move them over, because we can't just move them over by just LN2.
Which is what makes AOCT in Indonesia so popular, right? Because it's all air cooling, water cooling.
You get them to, they'll come with you, right? And not everybody is going to move that way. Not everybody is going to be inspired, but it doesn't matter. You only worry about the ones who have the potential to come with you and start overclocking.
And it's still better to have a few people trying, and even if there's dropouts, it's still better than no one trying. Right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's you need the LN2 there to show people that at the pinnacle of overclocking, this is what you'll be doing. But you don't have to worry about this right now. Start here, right? If you're a racing car driver, you don't start at F1. You start kart, and you'll move your way up to Formula 3000 and so forth until you get to F1.
I think the trick is not to scare them off too quick, because I know people see LN2 and they're like, what?
Exactly.
So, you said you installed it for 3 hours?
Yeah.
Yeah, most people
why
are like...
haven't you booted yet?
I know. It's pretty funny. With some of the stuff that I get from people that, like, what are you doing? Like, a lot of people are totally afraid of liquid nitrogen. I mean, a lot of people are like, well, how do you have a torch around liquid nitrogen? I was like, is that a serious question?
Well, for insiders, yes.
No, most people think it's flammable. I mean, people get scared of that stuff. So, I mean,
a lot of people doesn't know that you are breathing right now 70% of nitrogen. It's not liquid form, but you're breathing it now, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
But most people don't know that. Like, most people think it's like only oxygen outside.
Yeah.
And it's actually like just 20%. But the world would be much more funny if that was more.
It would be just funny if it was a bit more helium.
And the thing is, like, people, most people have no clue about what we are doing, and most people have no clue about what we are using to do it. So there's a lot of educational to do in that. I remember back in France where we're doing some of these demonstration at LAN parties and so on, and sometimes we use a single stage. And the first questions we had was, can I like cook my sausage with it, or can I cook food with this? Like, what? No, it's just to cool down the computer. And then the question is like, why? And then you can explain. So you have the hook for it.
All right. So I think we can wrap up the show, guys.
Oh man!
It's already like Neo has to go.
An hour and
Same, I have to go.
Yeah.
So I guess that's about it, right? For the UK, thanks ObscureParadox for sharing how it's going there, and Steponz as well for telling us how your experience on live stream overclocking went. I hope you will do more and things will get better, so you can spend more time benching than clicking, as we say. Thanks, Truthman, for hosting the show today.
Welcome.
Sorry guys, we went a bit further, extended longer. Next show will be next week, so next Monday we'll have the recorded episode on YouTube. If you like the show, if you're watching the replay right now, or if you're watching it live, don't forget to follow us on Twitch. You can also subscribe on our YouTube channel. All the links are below the stream page. And of course, if you have any questions or comments or suggestion of topics for the next show, go ahead. Also, make sure you can follow Steponz on his YouTube channel. Just look for Steponz and you will find him. And once in a while, he's benching, so check it out. And until then, don't forget, keep pushing it.
Keep pushing it.
Keep pushing it.